Hi everybody, this is Jane and our video today is checking how many sayings or idioms do you know. So testing yourself as you watch the video, I'm going to show you a saying, an idiom or a myth, and I'm going to ask you what it is. Are you ready? Let's remember the thing we're going to ask ourselves. Is it an idiom, saying or myth? For the first one, it can be too cold to snow. What do you think? 62% of British people actually believe these. So, is it a myth, this saying? Yes, it's a myth, even though that number of people believe it. So, don't think just because somebody believes something that it's true. Ne'er cast a clout till May be out. That really is talking about don't expect the weather to be nice until it's May time, but it's a saying, it's a proverb. So it's an expression people use to offer advice. And this proverb is really about the hawthorn that blossoms in the May rather than May itself as a month. If the goose honks high, that means when it's flying high in the sky, there's going to be fair weather. The weather's going to be good. If the goose honks low, if it's flying low in the sky, the weather's going to be foul or unpleasant. Do you think that's true? Do you think it's a myth? This is just a saying? Because we do have a lot of weather sayings, don't we? And it is, in fact, a weather saying or proverb. And when you look at the next one about the red sky at the night and in the morning, sometimes people talk about it as a sailor or a shepherd, and there's different versions of it. But the idea is if you see red sky at night, it's going to be really lovely weather. If you see red sky in the morning, it's going to be a warning, really bad weather is coming. And did you know that from people who use this saying, 83% of us believe it when we use this saying? So, what do you think? Myth or saying? Is it a proverb? It is actually a proverb, and I use this saying a lot because I really do believe it gives us an indication. This one you might hear from people who are talking about when parts of their bones, the joints that join the bones together, start to ache, start to be painful. Oh, it means it's going to rain. Have you heard this one before? Is it a myth? It's actually another one of our sayings. It's a proverb, and we use that one all the time. I really like this one. Cows lie down when it's about to rain. What do you think? Is that a myth? Is it a proverb? Do you think people really believe it? Well, cows can lie down for a number of reasons. I haven't seen any proof that links the behaviour of cows sitting down on the grass to the chance that it might rain. So, what did you think for that one? Yes, it's a myth. And make sure you know what a myth is. It's either a traditional story or a widely held belief. Lots of people believe it, but the important thing that makes it a myth is it's not true. It's a false belief or it's an idea. And you might hear some myths about vaccinations because of what's happening at the moment. So do make sure that you know the difference between a myth and a saying. How did you do? Did you get many right? Well, good if you got them all right. If you didn't, you might want to revisit them because the rest of the video is going to be about sayings and their meanings. So just to remind you, just to revise some of the things that we say. So, English people might say, you have your head in the clouds. This actually means you don't know what's happening around you. Have your head in the clouds. It never rains, but it pours. Nothing to do with the weather, nothing to do with needing a brolly. It actually means bad luck and bad things happen at the same time. What about this one? My favourite. Hear people say it's raining cats and dogs. It don't mean they're falling out of the sky. I know you know that. It means raining heavily. So we might use that a lot. It's raining cats and dogs. I really like the idea of finding cloud nine, but it doesn't exist. So when I say I'm on cloud nine, it means I'm extremely happy. And if I use the phrase once in a blue moon, I actually don't mean that the moon is going to turn blue. I mean very rarely. So I use this phrase when I'm talking about something that I do. I do it once in a blue moon, it means I hardly ever do it. And you might hear this saying when you ask somebody, "How are you?" "Oh, I'm under the weather." It means I'm feeling ill, under the weather. And it's the same if somebody says they're in the dark. They don't mean everybody switch the lights off or it's all dark and you can't see anything. In the dark means I haven't been told. I haven't been informed. I'm the one who's been left out about this information. And what about chasing rainbows? If someone's talking about chasing rainbows and they're using it as an English saying, they mean that you're pursuing unrealistic goals. So if somebody says to you, "Stop chasing rainbows," it means you haven't really thought about what you're doing, you're not taking the right steps, and it's unrealistic. But we're working in a very realistic way and we're revising information that we need for our English work. So do check that you know the difference between an idiom, a saying, and a myth. And I will see you in the next class. Bye now.